I had a sister that was killed when I was 9. And that was hugely right at the height of my parents' business.
How was she killed?
In a car accident. Horrible, horrible story. The story that every parent is so afraid to hear in the middle of the night, a call at 4 a.m.
Who was she with at 9 years old?
No, I was 9. She was 18. Yeah.
And how did it happen? Do you know?
So she was just with us. She was trying to finish college in 2 years instead of 4, and she wanted to go back to Washington where she was going to school to participate in a fair. And they all got together and said, "Hey, why don't you take my car and you take my car?" And the guy wasn't driving his car. It was an Austin Healey, which is a very fast car, and he didn't know the speed of it, and it was a convertible, and it just flipped. Yeah, it was really, really rough. And my parents were, I have to just give a little parentheses. My parents had really, a couple of years before that, hit the top of their career. They were on the Johnny Carson show.
Wow.
My mom cut Johnny Carson's tie off to make a bow for the package without even telling him. And it was like hysterical because he went, "Is this not your wife?" And ran after my mom and cut her hair. It was
on the show.
Yeah, on the show. So they are, perfumes and cosmetics was luxury then. It was a luxury lifestyle. It was a luxury everything about it, and it was owned not by pharmaceutical companies, but by like Elizabeth Arden was actually there, and everything came to a stop when this happened because people didn't know how to deal with them. How do you deal with this kind of tragedy? So they had the tragedy of losing their daughter, their firstborn, and their business is like going. And so I lost not only my sister, but my parents.
Wow.
And I went into a freeze state that I don't think I realized I was in such a freeze state. That was, when you look at what are the things that cause disease, I learned when I got diagnosed from cancer that cancer is not something to be afraid of or to fight. It's something to learn from. It's such a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call for me to look back and see, because I didn't remember these traumas. Like I knew I had lost my sister, but I didn't know the impact on my body and what my body was holding. It was more than what I could process here from the neck up in therapy and all of that. I had the insights, I had all of that, but I hadn't really allowed the trauma that lives in the body to heal. That is at the source of all disease.
And how did you learn that?
And
but tell the listener.
Yeah. So I learned it.
Like there you are, you're diagnosed with cancer.
Here I am. I'm walking through the park and I get the phone call with my daughter. We're holding hands and we're like, "Oh my God, I hope the news is not going to be bad." And they say, they didn't even like cushion it. They just went, "You have cancer." I was like, but there was something inside me that when I went to see the doctors and they were like, "Okay, here's the protocol." But I was like, "But how do I get to the bottom of this?" And they were like, "We don't know what you're talking about. We can give you some, it's a rogue cell. We don't know. It's not genetic. We did the genetic tests and you can do some, we can send you to do some meditation and some acupuncture to help you with the symptoms, but we really don't know." And that's when I really felt like, wait a second, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to know what is at the root cause of this. And I didn't know who the teacher was going to be or what I was going to learn, but I felt like this was a radical invitation to live life fully and to really get past whatever it is that was causing this. And so, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. I was watching Gabor Mathe talk about, because he's a medical doctor who was head of palliative care for 7 years, and he saw that you could trace back any disease back to an undealt with trauma.
Wow.